Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Abby Haggard. That's mom. That's mom. That's mom. I'm only marginally Abby Haggard. And those are a bunch of Care Bears. And those were the reasons that the people stood up and looked up and heads turned and said, let's go over there and see what that is. That was the beginning of my, ta-da career. And so it's still here because everything always is, really. Everything is always part of where we're going. We bring it with us. We have all our baggage. And some of it is good and some of it is bad. And I'm going to talk about the most amazing piece of baggage today, right now. Okay. That wasn't what I was looking for, but that's okay. So we need to remind me later. Yeah, remind me later. In an hour. There we go. There's a notice on my computer that says we need to restart, and then you had choices. It said 15 minutes, an hour, and the third one was next century. Good morning, Daniel. How are you? All right, so here we are today. And I kind of hit a moment. You know, I'm working on a project that is the biggest so far, coolest yet concept that woke me up in the middle of the night one day and said, got a minute. And every minute since, there have been opportunities presented, people coming in and out of my, sight line, tapping me on the shoulder, situations unfolding that have made me say, I'm on the right track. This may very well be the biggest. The last biggest was coming up with an idea for a show and saying, what if I went out on stage and all I had to do was not screw up because the material was great? What would happen? What would happen if I invited everybody who could possibly hire me for the rest of my life? And what if they liked it? I mean, imagine that. And so I did that. I invited everybody who could possibly hire me. Good morning, Charles. Good morning. I invited everybody who could possibly hire me. Also, everybody simultaneously who could say never darken our door again, but I hadn't thought about that. And then I put on this show, and it showcased for them an opportunity to see me, to really see me, to see my potential, to see what could be for them. And the person who decided first, the person who said call, was the person who bought into their possibilities and enabled mine. And again and again and again, all I had to do was show up and not screw up. That was it. That's been the path. And then it hit a wall because walls come along. And I hadn't really prepared for the what if after the wall. I had just kind of decided it would just keep on being whatever it was, which was kind of nearsighted of me. But in my defense, it was my first time and I was busy. So what has happened, in order for me to rediscover who I was, I had to step back and I had to go over there. Because if you keep standing here and looking at this, you don't get any new feedback. You keep seeing the same thing. You keep seeing a wall you can't climb, or you feel you can't climb in the moment. And when you reach the top, you didn't really know what you were going to do on the other side, other than, by the way, see where my house is. And so when this idea came to me, I thought, it's not clear yet, but as I progress, it's going to clarify. It's going to come into focus if I just keep turning to see more of it, looking to see more of it, not chasing, but just, I wonder what happens if I stand over here. Oh, look at that. And that's what I've been doing. And I know that's really odd, but in talking to all of you, in talking to my Facebook people and my YouTube people and my new LinkedIn people, welcome, and my Instagram people, and of course my YouTube people, my Twitch people, I'm talking to us as us, not with all the different hats we wear, not with all the different jobs we do, not with all the expectations that we have invited people to have of us or that we have chosen to own. I'm just talking about us. Brand clean, spanking, no footy prints all over, just us. And the question I realized I was staring at without seeing was this. Remember the moment when you saw or heard or felt or touched something, someone, experienced some moment, and in that moment, it meant everything. You witnessed it, you lived it, you were in it, and it was in you, and you were in it, and there was nothing else. There was no noise. There was no stress. There was nothing else but that moment of recognition. No moment other than yes. Everything else was kind of vague. But as we stood there, as we saw it and heard it and felt it and knew it, we didn't have any questions. We didn't wonder if this dress makes me look fat from the back. We were in it, and it was in us, and it was perfect. That, good morning, Freddie. That moment, that feeling, that knowing, that is Pivotry in motion. That moment is who we are. And all the other things. And that moment, that aha, in that aha, we know, we see, we get that all the other stuff that is oh, I'm gonna leave, all that other stuff comes third. There is no second. That moment of recognition is our anchor, is our rudder, is our compass, is our us. And when we're paying attention, we are aware of it. We know it. We sense it. There aren't any words to describe it. Good morning, Rhea. How wonderful to see you back today, especially today. This is such an important video. This is probably the peak moment of, I got this. I got it. It's episode 370. It only took me 370 videos to narrow it down. Thank God. And so what I'm going to talk about today is more fun, more exciting, and more awakening than anything else I've ever said. I can feel it. It's as clear as black and white. I'm connecting all the dots, and there are no straight lines. So here's what happens. And I'm going to tell you a story. I'm going to tell you 3 or 4 stories, all of which illustrate. And then I'm going to tell you how and why we make it happen. Okay? So one of the stories I'm going to tell you, it has to be about 7 or 8 years ago now, because I've been here for 2.5. And it was a hot day like the last couple of days. And my friend and I decided to go and get an ice cream cone. And we were standing in front of the Dairy Queen, and there were all these people who looked like wilted flowers, you know. Everybody just wanted an ice cream. They just wanted to be cool, you know. All they didn't really care. I'll have an ice cream cone. What flavor? I don't care. Just cold. Please, please, please. Just cold. Anyway, the line is moving, inexorably moving. We're getting closer. And there's a couple with a little kid. He's got to be about 12, I guess. And people have been talking, but it's been kind of a slow, quiet, lazy, bumblebee summer kind of sound, right? Living in the moment through the moments. Yes, yes, thank you. Wait till you see what I'm going to say. You will understand why I said it. So I'm pointing at Rhea. So this kid mumble, 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 going on because people don't have the energy to get their volume up at all because it's just too hot and it's humid and it's everybody's like it. And all of a sudden, this child said, "You don't understand. I need a chocolate ice cream cone." And I felt, I felt something move in my soul, and I said, "That's the other me." And I howled with laughter. And then I had to put my hand over my mouth because I didn't want to embarrass this poor child. The thing is, with every fiber of his being, he was trying to explain, to get through to these people who had birthed him and were raising him, and they clearly could not grasp the depth and the breadth and the enormity of his need. And it was very specific. He and his frustration and exhaustion and confusion were that they could not understand, and he was speaking their language. And I got the sense that it was the first time in his life when he realized that he was not of these people, he was with these people. And someday maybe, please, God's willing and the creek don't rise, he finds his people who truly get him. But these two did not. You don't understand. I need chocolate ice cream. I have never felt more connected to anyone in my entire life because my entire life had to that point been an unending series of thoughts like that, and please, not please, please, like that. Can you hear me? I need my whole life. And there was this child encapsulating it right there on the hottest, limpest day of the year. His passion and his strive and his fury to be where he needed to be was alive and well and doing fine. I didn't know then that I was Viking. I do know now that that's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking at the age of 12. He just called it something else. And if that silly little story hits you, if at any point, you don't have to admit it, you don't have to comment and say, "Oh my God, that happened," when this and that. You don't have to share if you're embarrassed or it feels vulnerable. But all you need to do for you, for all of us, to further the ripple effect of our little stones of recognition, our little plunk, plunk, plunk stones of aha. You just need to say, "Yeah, yeah, I got mine. That was me," because that defines the tribe within. That defines how I'm different and how we are the same. There are moments when we need and we're willing to do what it takes to be free. He knew what he needed. And he knew it better than anything he had ever known in his entire life. That child's comment was a metaphor for my life and the lives of so many of us. So that's the first story. The second story is kind of a layered story. When I was far too young to fall deeply and madly and passionately in love with my version of needing a chocolate ice cream, we were on vacation in Florida. And this was before we had been given the news that we were leaving for Europe. We used to go to Florida every winter. My dad would save up his holidays and we would go for a full month. We would pick the lousiest month of the year and he would look in the newspaper down there and find us an apartment. We would go and become residents for a month, shop at the stores. We didn't do the touristy stuff. We just lived there. We became residents. And it was his, I didn't know then, but it was his rehearsal for the rest of our lives when he retired. He simply did not want the cold. He did not want the snow. He did not want the hassle of ice and of any of that. He just wanted to be able to be by the water, outdoors, athletic, enjoying life with none of the encumbrances. That was how he saw that space, and that was why we kept going back. Anyway, we went to a restaurant one night for dinner. We didn't eat out every night because, again, we weren't touristy. We were there for a month. We were living there. My dad went to the school, whatever school I was in, explained to the principal and the teachers that he would be teaching me. He would be the substitute teacher for 30 days, and he needed all the lesson plans, and I would do homework every day. I would do my lessons every day. And the difference was that sometimes I did them under a palm tree by the ocean. But I always came back ahead of the curriculum because my father, exactly, barnacle buddies, exactly. So when my comment was to Rhea, who she and I have bonded over barnacle buddies. The interesting thing, and I'll come back to that in a second, Rhea. The interesting thing about that event that night, that restaurant, is that I had, without realizing it, without any of us realizing it, my parents or me, I had become old enough to see outside myself. I had become old enough here, everywhere, here, especially here. I had reached a moment when I could see myself in other people. I was coming into my own as a person who understood me and thee and we. And it may have been coming a longer time, but I knew it that day. We were in this restaurant, and the busboy came to the table to put down, because there was just a setting for two, and he put down the third setting for me. And he was very cute. My gosh, he was cute. He was a typical surfer kid. And at one point, he was saying to my dad, "Is there anything else, sir, that I've forgotten? This is my first shift." And my dad said, "No, you've done a great job, son." And he said, the boy said, "My name is Tom, sir, and it's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure to know you." He looked at my mother and he looked at me and he said, and then he forgot how to speak. And I looked at him and I thought, oh, that's all. There was nothing else. Oh. He said, "And I'm," and my dad said, "Tom." And Tom looked at him and, as though he had never seen my father before in his life, and said, "Sir?" He said, "Probably we need waiter. We need menus and a waiter." And Tom looked at him, and the expression on his face was, "I've heard those words before, and any minute now I'm going to remember what they mean." He wasn't embarrassed at all. He was completely caught up in a moment of confused recognition. These are two words I should know. There was nothing self-conscious about it, and I just stared at him. I don't think I had an actual thought in my head. I pretty much hit the wall at, oh, and then he went away, and then he came back. And he was there with the waiter clearing and whatnot all through the evening. I have no idea how long it was. Could have been a year, could have been 5 minutes, no clue. Here's the thing I remember very vividly about that in the middle of it, thanks to my sainted father, who always felt that my life had been less than because I didn't have an older brother who wanted to absolutely demoralize me at every opportunity. So he always found the opportunity to fill in. God bless him. I had actually been unable to eat anything. However, I was vaguely able to move things around on the plate with my fork because that's what you're supposed to do. I just wasn't really able to take it from the plate and put it in my mouth because what was I going to do with it there? And I was just mesmerized by him, just completely mesmerized by him. And here's the thing my father did. Tom was walking toward us, and I was looking, smiling, being something. And I heard my mother say, "For heaven's sake, stop." And I looked at her, and she wasn't looking at me, she was looking at my father. Because what my father had done while I was moving my fork around, pretending I was eating, was he'd moved the plate. He'd moved the plate. He'd waited till I raised the fork. He'd moved the plate. It was like 3 inches away. And I was just poking at the tablecloth with my fork. And when she said to him, "For heaven's sake, stop," he put the plate back. And Tom and I both saw it at the same time. And we looked at each other. And I said, "Oh," twice. And he just grinned and walked off into a potted palm or something. I don't remember. And I was completely and utterly transfixed by that young man. And my father, to make amends at the end of the day, Kat says, "Good morning." "Oh, wonderful. Good morning, Eddie. Good morning." So to make amends, apparently, he took Tom aside and said, "We are staying in this part of Miami for a month. This is our summer holiday. This is our winter holiday. We're from Canada." And he said, "You seem like a nice young man." Apparently, he said, "Apparently, you're welcome to stop by any time." And apparently, Tom said, I start work at whatever. Would it be okay if I stopped by before work?" And apparently my dad said yes. So when we got home, my dad told me that tomorrow Tom would probably be stopping by. And so I didn't sleep, and I spent the entire rest of the day trying to figure out what to wear. And I was just beside myself. And I didn't know how he was going to arrive. I didn't know if it was just going to be a miracle thing. My dad had a wand and poof, there he would be. But at about the right time, we heard a motorcycle. And sure enough, it was him. And he stayed for, I don't know, 5 seconds, 5 years. And then he said, "I have to go to work." And he left. And every day that he was working, he did that. And every day we just sat there. I have no recollection of anything we said. I have no recollection of anything whatsoever, except from that first day, watching the clock and at the moment, listening for the sound of that motorcycle. And it was the single most powerful, precious, passionate experience of my entire life. And then our holiday came to an end and we had to leave. And my dad said, "We'll see you next year." And Tom in front of me said, "Yes, you will." Except that no, he didn't. And no, we didn't, because we were sent to Europe. I have no idea how my dad did it. Presumably, given the kind of man he was, he contacted the restaurant and let Tom know. Because the first thing that happened when we came back from Europe 3 years later, and we went to Florida, on the way down, my dad said, "Tom is waiting for us." And I said, "How do you know?" And he said, I know. And there he was. And in the intervening years, it's not that I ever forgot him. It's that everything else became very busy. There was no way, as far as I knew, to reach him. We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have the internet. I didn't know anything about him. I knew his last name. I hadn't met his family. I didn't know. And then life got busy. You live in Europe. My goodness, the tragedy, the stress, all those Canadian and American and French and German and Italian and Scandinavian young men to meet and date. Oh my. And it was a great time. It was a wonderful time. And then we went back to Florida. And there he was. And there it was. And the reason I want to tell you this story today, of all days, is that that experience, that moment, that meeting between Tom and I, like that 12-year-old who finally got that chocolate ice cream in his hand, it was a moment that was completely us, when exactly who we were and who we were supposed to be was not only inside us, it was outside us. It was everything we were. And nothing else felt the same. Now we do that. We do that when we see someone, we fall in love, we get an opportunity for a job, we buy a new car, we take that deep breath and we sign on the dotted line for a mortgage. Whatever it is, whatever new turning point, we are an entrepreneur in heart and mind. We have an idea, we have some money, we say, go for it. I'm not ready, don't care. And we lean in and we do it. And everything about that decision, that moment of saying yes, is so perfect and so right that nothing else is ever going to change it until it does. Until we forget that nothing looks after itself. Nothing we prize remains the same. Everything changes. The only law in the universe that never changes is that law. The law that everything changes never changes. If we don't show up every day with the same commitment, with the same passion, with the same yesness to maintain the magic, to teach ourselves the habit of leaning in, not because we have to, not because someone tells us to. Get in the boat, you there, third row, row harder. No, it's not that. We get in the boat and we row because that is who we are. That is why we came. That decision in that moment when we said, there, that boat, that seat, that oar, that horizon, that's me. I'm in. That is who we are. Otherwise, it wouldn't have happened. That click of fate when I met Tom, it's only ever happened twice. Twice in my entire life. Second time, I knew what it was, and I know what it is, and I'm paying attention. The first time, I was just in it. And when we came back from Europe and many things had changed, I wasn't prepared. Neither was he. And it was very, very upsetting and difficult and strange because we weren't ready to ride those changes. We didn't have the tools or the instructions or the instincts. We weren't ready. And all kinds of stuff happened. And then life happened. And what I'm talking to you about today is this. The most powerful, the most unforgettable, truly unforgettable moment for us is when we see it, hear it, feel it, know it, when our moment happens and we choose to say yes, and we keep choosing to say yes the same way every day without fail. What we give us, what we enter, is a state that is called flow. It is logical, and it's called flow because it's fluid. It's like the ocean. There are no encumbrances. We don't come up against walls. The walls are there, but we automatically, naturally, instinctively, and intuitively navigate our way around them. Why? Because our focus is never wavering. Our focus is always this that is me, that is us. That's the reason we came. So when we find the perfect person, the perfect car, the perfect job, the perfect house, the perfect dress, one would think that we would make it our top priority to cherish it, to nurture it, to maintain it, to keep it safe, to give it sanctuary, to take pride in it, to thank whoever we thank for the opportunity to seize it and keep it. One would think, and we don't. Why not? What is wrong with us? Did we bump our heads this morning? No. Stuff happens. That person we always called. That person we always called at exactly the right time. You can count on it. We always texted. We always hugged. We always kissed. We never went to bed angry with. That puppy we always walked. That flower we always watered. Stuff happened. Oh my God, there's a sale. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm so sorry I didn't call you. I lost track of time. Oh my God. How long has that tire been flat? Oh my God, what was I thinking? And the answer is we were distracted. We had too many things on the go. Why? How? Because our ego said, we got this. I'll call her later. She loves me. She'll get it. I know. Yeah, I heard the car. Okay, I heard the car in the driveway. I know I always come to the door to welcome you home. I know. But I was busy. If you heard the car, how could you have been busy? Because the ego said, and this is my other good side, the ego is the outside brain. The ego says, we got to keep up with the Joneses. The ego says, yeah, I'm the CEO. Yeah, I had this company for 15 minutes. I'm walking here. The ego doesn't realize how short 15 minutes is. The ego doesn't realize how fast the The competition is coming up on the inside. The ego doesn't look ahead. And this was partly my situation. The ego doesn't look ahead and says, okay, it's working now. What happens if it stops raining? How many umbrellas am I going to sell? What if it doesn't rain for a year? Well, maybe you should have invested in sunglasses then, idiot. Maybe you should invest in a sun umbrella. No, I got this. I'm number one. And all of a sudden, you know what happens? I'll tell you what happens. You get the call, training camp, you show up. You're the best. You were the best. Mm-hmm. Except that when you went through your paces at training camp, you were out of shape. You didn't qualify. It didn't matter that you scored the winning what's it. That was then. This is now. Right up until then, you said, this team, this sport, this opportunity is my life. Something happened between then and now. Something else got in the way. And when you sauntered in, yeah, here I am, training camp. Got my old bench, got my old locker. Sorry, son. Your scores don't rank. You're out of shape. We're going to leave you at the gate. And that person you loved, that person who meant everything, decided not to wait. Everything is precious. Everything remains precious. If it was precious then, it is precious now. The only thing that changes is us. The kid that needed the chocolate ice cream comes back for it. Now it's melted. It's all over the sidewalk. What happened? You took too long, honey. You got busy. The ice cream went away. How do we fix that? How do we change that? How do we get it back? Why am I talking about it now? Why does it matter so much now? I'll tell you. Because we've forgotten how. For any number of reasons. The biggest one that is the big flag, or at least it was a big flag until a few months ago, was that we were in 3 years of forced isolation. We were in 3 years of changing rules, 3 years of warning signs and signals that were never the same 2 days straight. 3 years of showing up and people not there, businesses closed. 3 years of people falling apart at the seams. And no reason we can see to make that stop. No one calling and saying, it's safe, come out, let's play. None of us saying, it looks safe. Let's keep our safe distance. Let's come out and play. We got busy. We got doing other things. We forgot. We got distracted. The ego got in the way. That precious thing we used to have. Oh my gosh, there are some times I just wait for the Wednesdays to see you guys again. You're like the port in the storm. So good to see you. I had to move away. I couldn't come every Wednesday. I would come once a month on Wednesday. All the more precious. All the more special. They were my port in the storm. They were the familiar faces in a sea of unknowns and difference. It meant everything. As often as I could, I came. It meant everything. It was important for them too, except that they were here and they could see each other every day. And so it became normal. And yeah, we're going to come. Well, we were going to come, but we've decided to do this tonight instead. I came. I'm not any better. I just didn't have any other distractions. That was my chocolate ice cream. I didn't have other flavors and other choices. So I kept showing up because I was not pulled in some other direction. And I want to tell you the most important thing about this. My aha today for episode 370 hit me yesterday. Hit me on the 25th of July, 2025. A day that will live on in hallelujah, past the ammunition. It hit me yesterday that I have, thank you, Freddie. Warren says, I wish you could have been there with me yesterday. They would have loved you. It was so much fun. Well, thank you, Warren. Carolyn says, good morning, Carolyn. We can only figure out who we are by learning from our wins and losses. Carolyn, it's the reverse. Our wins and losses don't tell us who we are. Our wins and losses are benchmarks. They tell other people who we are. We tell the color commentator who says, that's the 43rd time in a row that Carolyn has da-da-da-da-da-da. That tells them who we are. Our wins and losses don't shape us. We shape them. We own them. We choose them. We choose how we manage them and how we use them as our motivations and our inspirations and our lessons. You have it right, just reversed. Brilliant. And it's good to see you. So the important thing that happened yesterday when I was looking at the calendar was that I realized I had turned a page. I saw it. I saw the page I had turned. I saw where I had been, knowingly, where I had been. I saw where I was. And as I saw both those things yesterday, I saw the moment. I saw the moment when it shifted. I saw my Pivotry moment when every part of me said, this, I choose this. I choose this now. This is mine. Today and every day. It's now my job. It's now my duty. It's now my grand prize that I get to manage and maintain and create all the ripples. And I had not felt that way in a very long time. And when it struck me, I said, this is the true definition of Pivotry in motion. When we come face to face with the understanding, with the knowing that we are in a moment that is completely us, meant for us, has to be, otherwise it wouldn't have happened. And it is our joy and our opportunity to claim it. It hit me yesterday. There is no clearer, better definition of Pivotry in motion. Now, the work that I've been working toward, that I've been planning for, that I am now, bringing into focus, into clarity, is an umbrella strategy. An umbrella, you've got a handle with a button on it. You push the button, woof, and all these different parts of the umbrella open out. There's fabric that connects them, all the different ribs. Those are all the different aspects of our decisions and our focus and our purpose. One foop, and we have many working for us. We have a sunbrella and an umbrella. They keep us dry. It keeps us safe from the heat in many different ways simultaneously. This has always been my blueprint for any project, any business. So in developing Pivotry in motion, having been working on it since 7 years now, I had known that at some point I would see what I needed to see to be able to say, there. And now we just nudge everything into place to make it work. That's how the puzzle pieces fit. Ta-da. It happened yesterday. It is possible for every single one of us because it is how we are wired. It is who we are. It is what makes us different from other species. We become aware that we get an ego that allows us to connect and reflect and react and respond to the world around us, which is essential. We also become aware that we have a part of our brain that just keeps us alive because it always has and always will. And in the meeting of those two minds, in that space between, every so often, we are aware of both in real time. And inside that space is where we can actually see what is meant for us. It's right there. It's in front of us. It's waving. And we're saying, oh my God, pickled beets are on sale. It's not merely opportunity. It is our usness that is right there waiting. What the purpose, what the goal, what the joy, what the unforgettable quality is in understanding Pivotry in motion is that we learn to understand us. We get the tools, we get the strategy, how to maintain and prioritize us. We get to give ourselves permission to fall in love and stay there. We give ourselves permission to be loved and welcome it and nurture it and stay there. We get to take pride all over again, brand new, find our focus, feel our passion for our business, our careers, our hopes, our aspirations, our inventions, our intuitions that give us what we need to show up every day, to train, to maintain. And when it's time for training camp, we get our seat back with a star on it because we know why we came. That's why we're back. I have people constantly saying to me a couple of things that make no sense. Why do you keep working? A, it's not work. And B, what else was I going to do? When they say work, I think pursue my passion. If I'm not pursuing my passion, I might as well stay under the bed. Why do you go to so much trouble when you go out for lunch? It's just lunch. No. It's not just lunch. I almost died when I was a teenager. Just lunch is a gift. I'm going to savor every moment of that lunch. Do I necessarily eat all the food? No, I'll take the food home. It's not about the food. It's about the lunch. It's about the connection. It's about the moment. It's about the experience that has been gifted to me. Yeah. Somebody hands me a prize winning ticket and it's announced and I'm holding it and everybody says, "You win." Do you think for a single moment I'm going to say, "What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah." So, anyway, what I was going to say, do you seriously think I'm going to do that? No. The question is, why would we? Why do we? What are we putting off? What are we dismissing? And if that has become our unconscious habit, because that's what our subconscious does for us, then I have news for you. All these 7 years of working on COVID, recovery, PTSD, recovery, connection, recovery, investment, recovery, joy, recovery. It's not find joy, chase joy. It's recover it. We always had it. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to say, I'm off on an adventure. Care to join me? You're going to have a great time. And if someone says, well, I don't know, I can't really think, they weren't meant to come. They weren't ready. They're not hungry yet. And until they are hungry, catch you later. Love you from afar. I won't wait here, but I'll be waiting to welcome you when you make your moment decision. Pivotry in motion is our recognition and our aha and our yes that makes every day a banner day. And I've been teaching this skill without realizing it, without putting a name on it, for my entire adult life. Big company people, small entrepreneur people, creative individuals, kids, families, relationships. It's all the same, just put a different hat on it. I've been teaching it for a long time. And when someone says, what are your credentials? And I say, you know how they say fame is fleeting? Yeah, I'm still here. Apparently I know something. Would you care to have me show you what it is? Yeah. And that's how it works. Only now, because we have so many distractions, we have so many things that take our focus, we have so many things. Oh my God, the light bulb. June, exactly June. And by the way, that little bit of blather, that was me talking to Rhea and Eddie and Freddie and Warren. Things pop up, I answer, keep talking. I sound a little crazy. Pivotry in motion is the moment when we see the moment, know the moment, and choose the moment. My goal, my purpose is coaching you through the uncertainty because you don't know how. I'm going to show you your how. I'm going to walk you through the tools that you can use to get yourself back, to bring yourself back from your distractions. One of my favorite tools, simplest, easiest, smallest, portable tool is the later folder. Because not only do I tell you that everything that stresses you, you just write down and then draw a line underneath and keep going. That's the everyday. A great thing to add that I never mention because I've been waiting for the right time. And by the way, do you love the fact that this one is orange? I love that. Is at the top of every page every day. Remember why we came. Remember my chocolate ice cream cone. Remember the moment called Tom. Whatever the hook phrase is, whatever that specific moment is that touched you completely, that showed you who you are, that gave you that completeness, that connection to everything, that made everything else go out of focus. This is your moment of pivotry in motion. This is your moment that brings you back, that gives you the opportunity to say, right, yes. The day we came back from Europe and arrived in Florida, and we were getting ourselves settled in because we were staying, my dad kept looking at the clock on the wall. And I said, what's going on, Dad? He said, I'm just keeping track of time. And then at one point, he put his hand on my arm. And he said, okay, I want you to put that down now. It's yet another box. Put that down. I want you to go and wash your face, brush your teeth, and comb your hair. Put on something different. Why? Just do it. Do it. So I did. Came back. Is this okay? No, you know what? That other top, the one with the change, came back. And I said, why? He said, pause. Pause. And I heard the motorcycle. Bam! All the years away, gone, gone, foof. They've come back, but not in that moment. My dad was a showman. He could have told me that morning, it's going to be special today. He didn't say a thing. He didn't say a thing. He set me up for, look at this. It's decades later. It's decades later. He set me up for maximum impact. He was raising me and training me and readying me to see and feel and hear and smell and be, bam, impacted. Yes. Most precious gift anyone ever. And I'm going to give it to you. Only this time I'm warning you, because you need to plan. Because I haven't put you in a box and I haven't taken you to some small far-off bungalow in Coral Gables, Florida. If you're in Ottawa on July 20th, Sunday, July 20th, from 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I am inviting you to come to an event called Fanaticon Ottawa. There's a Facebook page for it. I'll tell you more about it. The reason I'm inviting you to come, if you're in Ottawa, if you've never been to one of these events, I'm inviting you to come. I think it's $25 to get in, $20 to get in. It's a miniature Comic-Con event. It's only one day. And the reason I'm inviting you is not because it's a Comic-Con. It's not because it's a one day. It's not because it's one of those nostalgia things that people do. That's all going to happen. The reason I'm inviting you is because I'm creating a book that day. I'm creating a book that celebrates the essence of unforgettable. I'm creating a book that showcases the people who know what their moment looks like, who know what their moment feels like, and who prioritize their lives and their events and their efforts and their resources to make that moment happen for them on demand. And I want all of you who do that, I want to showcase you in the book. The book is called We Are the Unforgettables. And I want you to come to my booth where we've got photographers. We're going to take your picture, fabulous picture, not one of these high school pictures, fabulous picture. I'm going to ask you what your definition is. What is unforgettable? You're going to tell me. I'm going to write it down. That's going in the book under your name. And I'm publishing that book. I am publishing that book this year in November. Why? Because this year is the 20th anniversary of my publishing business. I was your mom. I was your care bearer. I was all these other people. I am the person who tells your stories, who tells our stories, who shares our stories, who makes our stories unforgettable. That's what I do. I did it as mom. I did it as a care bear. I did it as all the other characters. I do it with my shoes. I do it with my Facebook posts. And now I'm going to do it this year in my 20th anniversary to showcase you, because you deserve it. And whether you're a cosplayer or you're a celebrity or you're a fan or you're an artist or you're a vendor or you're a collector, don't care. You matter. You are the reason we come. There is no show without you. It's a rehearsal without you. Same with these videos. It is going to be, yes, it is. It is going to be the most fun day. It is going to be the most chaotic, crazy day. Poor Lance. Lance Moran, who runs the event. I warned him. I warned him. I said, I'm going to need a bigger booth. I'm also going to need more passes because I got a bunch of volunteers to make this work. I'm going to have people at the door handing you the instructions. Go to Abby's booth. Go now. Run. We only got one day. How many people do I need? How many people are coming to the show? I need all of you. How big is the book? I'll do many books. It's a collection. Warren, you need to do this. Yeah. You know what else I'm going to do, Warren? I'll tell you what else I'm going to do. You know what this is? This is the internet. You know what this is? That's a web camera. I'm pointing. Hello. It's a web camera. I don't need to have you with me at the booth. I want you with me at the booth. If you're in Ottawa, if you can get to Ottawa, what the hell are you waiting for? Pack the bag. It's only a month. If you can't come, I'm doing another book. Because I have a group on Facebook. I have a group on Facebook. It's called We Are the Unforgettables. I have people who belong there. I have another page. It's called Welcome to Abbey World. I have another page. It's called Pivotry in Motion. I have my page. I don't know. I got 4,000 people. You don't have to come to FanaticCon. I'd like you to. Lance would fall over backwards. But if you can't be there physically, we're going to set an opportunity. We're going to do an event, one of these things, event online. You can register. You can send me your picture. You can send me your quote. I will still allow you, even though it's virtual, I will allow you to pre-order your copy of your book. I get a huge discount as the publisher. And that's all you're going to pay. You need to pre-order your book. We need to know how many you are. Fine, pre-order the book. We'll figure out a way for you to send me the $20. This is massive. I want us today is the 26th. I want us to say today on the 26th of June, 2025, Abby reminded me what matters, where the magic is, why I feel it, when it happened, where. And Abby is going to help me get it back anytime I want. I am going to help you have that chocolate ice cream moment. I am going to help you have your stab the tablecloth with the fork moment. I am going to give you the portal to step through that makes all the other small stuff, all the ego, beep, 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 fade away. Why am I going to do that? Because I can. And it's your turn. You earned it. And this is the year we are going to launch it. You, all of you, everywhere, wherever you are, whichever country you're in, you are going to help me change the world again. Mom changed the world. Every single one of you that watched, you can't do that on television. Every single one of you who knew me as Mom, you have never been the same. I guarantee it. Any one of you, every single one of you that watched the Care Bears and remembers the Care Bears stare, you have never been the same. I guarantee it. Want to see me do it again? It's this year. And during episode 370 of this journey of mine, over a year's worth of videos, twice a week, every week, without fail, even in the midst of someone dying. Did I show up? Yes. Why? I said I would. Why? Because this is my moment. It's mine. I own it. And I am so grateful. I am so changed. I am so different because of it. I don't want you living vicariously through me. I wrote a book called Vicarious. Every single person in it was living vicariously. I don't want you living vicariously. I want you to say, show me how I can own my moment. Show me how to train to maintain. Show me how to draw the heart-shaped line in the sand and put it over there and love all those toxic, ego-pointed things from afar. I just want you to say, show me. Because I'm showing you a little bit more every day. It took me 7 years to have my aha. And my aha was yesterday. So if you're within physical reach of Ottawa, however many of you there are, on whatever platform you are, Fanaticon Ottawa, July 20th, Sunday, from 10 in the morning until 5 o'clock. I'm putting you in a book. All you have to do is show up. You want to know more about it? Fanaticon Ottawa has a page on Facebook, has a website. Look it up. You want to know more directly from me? Contact me. Here I am. Message me. Let's do this. Okay? Awesome. I'm excited. Are you excited? Good. So, the weekend is upon us. Stuff to do. Exciting decisions to make. Between now and next Tuesday, I want you to do 2 things for me. I want you to be good to you. I want you to think about your moment. I want you to think about all the things you are letting slide, because you know what? I want you to remember when those things you were allowing to slide. Remember when they were your chocolate ice cream, and go get it. Hug it. Take it to dinner. Tell it how beautiful it is. because you deserve it. And the other thing I want you to do is hug your loved ones, because they deserve it too. Does that seem fair? Awesome. This was a little long today, and that's okay, because you know what's going to happen in a few seconds right before I say goodbye? The time on the clock is going to say 11:11. How about that? And there's nothing wrong with that, is there? Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for making this possible. Catch you next time.